Hello friends, welcome to a new section on the Pullback Edge, Anatomy of a Trade. In this segment, we take a closer look at a stock that has performed strongly over the past few weeks and trace the early signs of its trend. The goal, friends, is purely educational, to reverse engineer a trend, understand how it develops, and improve our analytical skills. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor and is not a recommendation to buy or sell any security. So today we would be focusing on Appen, listed on the ASX Stock Exchange with the ticker APX, and explore what we can learn from its recent price action. Friends, now we are on the chart of Appen, and the platform that we are using is the Trading View platform. Just looking at the chart, this is right now the daily time frame for Appen, and this has really given some stupendous returns over since around the 19th of December. We can see it's given a return of around 60% during this time period. And the indicator that we are using, this is the super trend, with the default settings of 10 and 3. And now let's look at if we can reverse engineer it and see how we would have been tracking this or analyzing this trade or this particular stock over this time period. So Appen, those who are not aware of the company, and I'll not go into much into the fundamentals of that, but let's quickly just see what the company does. This is not exactly part of the. I've not checked whether it is part of the XTX, which is the technology index, or not. But this is definitely a technology index, and any movement that we would be seeing in the technology index, that definitely uh, gives momentum to all technology stocks as well. So if I'm just looking at purely the XTX, which is the technology index here, and this is we had seen in the other video that we recorded for the analysis, the weekly analysis as well. Here we saw the technology index had been in a downtrend with the super trend really in a sharp downtrend, and here on the 18th of December. So let's definitely keep a note of this date, that 18th of September is when we saw a strong, very strong um, uh, reversal candle here. This is a very strong, you can say, hammer with a very long wick, and this low, which was just prior to this strong candle. Now this low has not been breached, and this low just prior to this strong wick candle became a very good support. We can see again it tried to breach here, did not cross it. Again here it was another strong inverted hammer here, and since then it has not seen this bottom again. So this is looking at the broader index, and now we look at the particular stock, right? So now, when if we had been monitoring the particular uh, index, which is the broader index, now let's go back to that particular date, right? What we'll do is we'll go back to the date of the 18th of right. So this is the 18th of December when we saw the broader index really giving a sharp candle. Now immediately, if we had gone back at the same time, seeing that strength in the index, if we had gone back and started looking at multiple technology stocks. Now I'm just looking at Appen, but there are many technology stocks that have really outperformed during this time. But keeping this focus here, this is the 18th, this is the 17th of December. Now, what we see here is we see a straight line of super trend, right? What that means is the straight line means that the stock below the line, definitely it is in a downtrend. but the straight line means that the stock has started to gain some momentum, and it is showing some strength in here. And the straight line depicts that it is in a consolidation zone. So we could see that this was in a downtrend. Now here it had tried to breach the uh, the super trend. There was a strong reversal rejection in here, and since that rejection has been in a downtrend here, and the downtrend after like hitting this bottom here. Now this is something which we are now checking on this date, looking at back, right? We had not looked at this chart earlier, but looking back on this date, we could see that there had been some consolidation here, and since this consolidation, it had formed a it found a good support, and since then, now it is not below the cloud of super trend. Now it is inching upwards. It is inching a little bit upwards, showing some good green rejection candles as well. And we are seeing that this is still in a uh, still in red, but showing some good momentum there. Now, at the same time, let's look at if we had seen the broader picture as well, what we would have seen. We would have seen that this stock had found a low here, which was in April around this time. Has with this rejection, it had breached below this line, and now at this time, if we had drawn a trend line, we could see that this is a very clean trend line meeting these two points from the top and this rejection, and we can see now this is on the other side of the trend line, which means it is showing some strength. Now let's look at the some other indicators as well, which we could have used. And on the indicators as well, you could see this is a TSI, which is nothing but the MACD. The TSI was in green, which means the short-term moving average was above it. So it is consolidating, showing some strength on the TSI, and the RSI, which is the default 14 RSI as well. We can see that the default 14 RSI also has been inching upwards, closing around 40, 47.50, which is inching towards a positive territory for that. Now, if we had looked back here as well, at this point, when the stock had made a low here, we could see on the MACD there was a low here. We could see there was a low here as well, right? Which was this is low is the 30 uh, uh, level of the oversold for RSI. Now, when this region, the low of this region, what we see here is that the MACD was not making the same low here. It's not. This low is above this low. So there's a if I draw a trend line here, now this trend line would be inching up, which is a positive divergence, as well as this low here. We can see a very good bullish hidden divergences here as well. One is taking this point as well as this point. So this is a divergence here, as well as we could see the rejection here below the 30 and then start inching above that. Now, if what I had done was if I had just drawn a line on the top of this RSI here, the cross above this RSI would have been a good signal for me that the stock now it is past its oversold state and something to keep an eye on. But we had not, if we had not been monitoring it earlier, then we would not have known it then. But since then, we know that when we had looked at the index. Now, if I step into this, we see another candle here, which is again a good bullish candle in here, maintaining the low of the past. And this is a giveaway. This is a big giveaway. Another giveaway was the volume, which had really crossed above this point, above the white moving average around this point. So this would have been the first giveaway, and this is definitely uh, or anyone who was accumulating the stock, they can't hide it any longer. Why? Because on this date, as we know, that the broader technology index also had uh, started showing strength. Now, after this, now if I it's crossed the upper line of the super trend. Normally, what a stock would happen is that if it would come back to retest this point here, uh, but if it is a very um, strong momentum, then it would not come back into this region at all, and that's what we saw in Appen. It does not it did try to consolidate for some time here, but it does not even come to this level, and it continues to be uh, above the super trend cloud. And as long as this cloud is pointing upwards, as long as the price remains above this, my understanding is, and my analysis is, that this continues to be in a strong bullish trend. Now, if someone has to look at any opportunities here, then the only way would be to just go on a very lower time frame and then look at opportunity. Because if we had in the same time frame, if we had gone back on a 1 hour time frame as well, we would have been able to see some opportunities here, uh, when the uh, when the price would have come closer and found a rejection on the straight line of the here on the 6th of January, that opportunity would have come. But apart from that, on a lower time frame as well, inching upwards above the clouds in a very strong momentum. As long as this cloud remains green, this is a good stock. Thank you. And we'll meet again next for the next Anatomy of a Trade. Hope you like it. And if you found it useful, please do share some comment and hit like button. Thank you.